Good morning.
Hey, let's do this. What do we got going on? What's new?
Wow, man. We had a lot of things happening. I would sum it up like they call it a tsunami. We'll see. We can judge that for ourselves. But a lot of things started out last week. More like platform stuff was really moving. Wanted to just do a quick recap. They hired a guy, Jared Dillinger. He's from the Philippines. He was a basketball player at one time, and he's now essentially a content creator, a influencer. He has the number one watched show on CNN Philippines. It's called The Future, and he also does a podcast about basketball. But they hired him, brought him on to do some content work for Gala. They also Betbender and Benefactor were on it was a show on Binance Live called Block Tides with Myrtle Ann Ramos. She's also a influencer from the Philippines. So they were on there for close to an hour and mostly talking about Gala Chain. That was that was an interesting watch. I'll just leave it at that. There was a lot of fun in there. Other things happened, and they I don't know how many of you have gotten involved with the THX network. Some people are a little bit resistant to it. It's very similar to like a Gleam style thing. One of the sticking points, is that in order to get live with THX, you have to give them like control of your YouTube account, meaning that they have the ability, they have permissions to do certain things. So it's like master control level stuff. And even though the things that they intend to do with it are very like straightforward, they need it in order to be able to connect contacts or your likes and follows and stuff like that. Other places have found ways to get around that level of control in order to get the same thing done. So there's a lot of people that are, I mean, we're talking about crypto. And a lot of people, they don't even want to let you know what their name is, let alone like give you access to something that they have built personally. So that's been a bit of a what do they call that? Just a bad thing. a lot of people don't like it.
Bad thing.
The website got an overhaul. It's a lot simpler now, tidier, especially the games page. Very easy to find things, or a lot easier to find things. So all of this was happening, and then they announced that they were going to release the Gala Chain SDK. So we now have a link that the developers from the outside can actually begin building on Gala Chain. They got a little toolkit to work with, and I'm sure there's a bunch of support from Gala side as well. Ventit and Jehoshaphat they're pretty active answering questions about all sorts of stuff. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, let alone in Discord. So we are at the stage where Gala Chain starts becoming more than just Gala's playground. So this could get interesting fast. I guess we'll wait and see. All of that being said, the games are what has been on Gala Chain to this point, and the newest one to launch it just started technically at 8:00 this morning. Timbo Slice is the only man in space right now in Echoes of Empire, and he is he's all alone out there. So it's kind of like a reverse space story. Usually it's like you're the last one and then you're all alone, but he's all alone now, and it's going to quickly get crowded because.
And why is he all alone?
What's that?
When does it open for everybody else?
Well, they're giving him 4 hours, and then the legendary claim owners get to come in, and then 4 hours later you got the epic claim owners, and so on, and then tomorrow morning. I'm sorry, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, so not morning, but it would be evening for most people. Anyway, that tomorrow, if you don't have a claim, you can get in at 2 p.m. Pacific. But what we're finding in this playtest, you can't make your claims right away. There's a tutorial that you have to wade through, and there's a specific part of the tutorial that involves you using a teleport. Now, in order to use the teleport, you're going to have your all of your ships back at the home base. So big recommendation for anyone that happens to be watching and is anticipating going out there trying to claim some of these celestial claims. Use very short-term missions, very short-term mining contracts in order to get your ships back in time, so that when you're through the process of upgrading the right components of your home base, you can just teleport instantaneously, and then that should give you access. We still don't see the claims process, and he's over 2 hours into this. So it's just something that might be able to streamline it for everybody. If you have everything at your home base, then you're able to teleport, and then from that phase, you might be able to get to the claims process from there. He had someone sitting on a legendary claim, and it had a 45-minute timer, and now he has to wait that out until it comes back with its resources. So he's almost. I think he's got like 5 minutes left in it or something like that. But he, in the meantime, he's been working on a lot of other stuff. He's working out a map in Photoshop.
You can see how big the game is when he's kind of zooming around.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Well,
pretty
we
nuts.
still have. There's still two legendaries and an epic, I think, that are locked up. They show in the actual wallet itself on ETH.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they don't show in the Gala app to be able to bridge them over to Gala Chain.
Oh yeah.
Still waiting on Gala to get on that thing. So you can actually lay those down as well. Those are mine, actually, forged in cryptos that I sent over.
Oh, again, they're being managed by the collective.
Being managed by the collective.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? That's an initiative that that was pretty cool.
I mean, the idea of it is just to give people an opportunity that are. We've talked about this from the get-go when we first started talking about the DAO from the beginning. Is that there's a lot of people that have assets that just don't either have the ability to manage it, don't have the time to manage it, don't want to manage it anymore, but also don't want to sell it because it's at such a depreciated value. They want to wait and see what's going to happen to it. So at the Gala Collective, we'll manage it for you. And we'll send out, we're going to basically split the earnings 50-50. The collective will take 50, you take 50. And then the worst part about it now is that you have to take trust in Gala Collective right now because have anything written for an actual contract for NFT lending yet. Now that's in the works. So you essentially send it to our wallet, and then we're going to manage it and go from there. Hopefully soon with the SDK out and everything else like that, we'll be able to get an NFT lending situation going on, especially since that's what NerdNode and Anthony wrote for the hackathon that was a couple months ago. So I don't know. Interesting. I love that we're going to be able to do that for people. We got quite a few people sent them over. So, just gives the opportunity to get these assets out there and playable with some people that weren't going to actually play them. So,
yeah. So what we're showing right there is a little screenshot from when Tim was playing. Grape, one of the Zeta team members, posted that in the Echoes of Empire chat and then tagged it with our light paper. So as of now, this is all we know about the way that tokenomics are going to work. Apparently, half of your Stardust each day is going to be turned into Gala tokens. That's some kind of ratio. We have no idea. But one of the things that they did go on to say is that by keeping half of your Stardust each day, that makes you a target. They wanted to encourage interaction that way and make the ship-to-ship combat more inviting. So there is Stardust to be taken from other players.
And that contributes, directly, I guess, to your... Yeah, I mean, you can go take Stardust and half of that becomes extra earnings for you.
Yep. Yeah, so...
Interesting.
This could get heated really fast. So anyway, little bit exciting, a little bit of a bummer that it's not moving as swiftly as Tim might have wanted, but eventually we're all going to be in there, and we're going to be. There's going to be all sorts of different wildness happening. Some of us are going to be
the slow up was me this morning too, because you had to allow a token allowance.
Yeah.
Token allowance. It's such a nightmare. So I was waiting around all morning at the house, listening to Timbo and kind of waiting for that. And I take off, and literally as soon as I leave, he's like, "Hey, can you give me?" Well, it's probably about 5 or 10 minutes after. Can you get me the token allowance? And so I had another 10 or 15 minutes on my drive. So I was like, "Crap, not now." So, anyways, we got it all there. It's running.
What's Tim doing right now? Is he claiming something?
Demon.
It looks like
You
it.
don't have a celestial claim which matches the celestial object. Go to celestial object menu.
I think that's the wrong prism of.
No. If that's Aurora's Edge, he's supposed to be able to claim the Prism of Creation. It's telling him he doesn't have it.
Nice. That's hilarious.
That's the whole reason he's playing, right?
Hello.
Wow. Okay.
Moving on.
That's
Sorry.
It's a launch, but it's
Yeah.
Here we go. So other games that maybe let's go back to the granddaddy of the Gala Games. What was Townstar and now Common Ground World. They had their town hall this week. It was only Farmer Michelle and Volcron, and most of the news. They're very good about a consistent format for the show. They start out introductory. They always talk. They always recognize people that are in the audience that are there and chattering. They start going through certain news elements. Volcron goes into a tech kind of description of things that they like bugs that they squashed that week or whatever. They have with a social media update, usually from Ninja Surprise, who wasn't there today, and then they get into the official question form that they put out each week. You can it's just a type form that you can fill out, and then they'll actually also look for questions, but it's standard every week. And the thing about it is that a lot of the questions that are coming to them, they have to say they say we don't know yet, or they have the same answers to give. So very often the content from week to week is very much the same. The only thing that I was really able to pull that is worth knowing is that they are still on track for the Townstar nodes to become Common Ground World NFT nodes by the end of the month, which is 2 days.
Really?
So,
Okay.
They said they're on track. We'll see.
They're going to be on the last day at the last hour.
Could be. We have two different teams here because it's not the game team that's doing the nodes. That's the node team that has to do all of that. So they don't even Volcron as intimately as he's involved with the coding of the game. He doesn't work with the nodes themselves. So they're waiting as well. So it's a separate team. We don't ever really actually interact with those guys. In fact, we're not even sure who those people are. It could be some people we know. It may be an entirely quiet group. Other things that are going on. They're doing a mocha coffee meta this week. So there's an NFT sale for something that doubles your baristas, and you can make mochas this week. That's a continuation of the coffee idea, and they're going to be mixing it up. As of February, they're going to launch a new thing. We'll wait and see what those are. On the Miranda side, we're still anticipating the trip to Texas for a lot of people. That's coming up pretty quick. But then other news was the tech update from Jason Hughes, which is, again, always consistent. One of the things that I want to add, I kind of gloss over the Miranda's Monday update. I haven't brought that in here, but Manny also posts a Miranda's Monday update, which also talks about a lot of these things. And I was thinking about it last night. I'm always posting the text that Jason Hughes puts into the chat, and because he's so interactive in there. He's answering questions. He's even speculating on things the way that they could work. He's willing to say that, and he's also willing to say, "Hey, listen, don't quote me on this stuff. Like, it might not go this way, but these are the things that we can look at about it. This is why that would never work, or this is why maybe we could fit that in there. Manny's also a present, but I just haven't been calling as much attention to him. So I was feeling like, oh, maybe I'm leaving him out. And if he ever finds out that we're like only touting what Jason's up to, then he might get a little bit bummed. He deserves some credit too, because he's also very consistent with the Miranda's Monday updates. Something neat that they pulled off this week, that you can now take bread with you, so you don't have to just sit there at the stand to eat it. Maybe not every kind. There may be some that you have to still eat there, but there is going to be a portable one that you can take with you. So when your energy starts getting low, or stamina, I can't remember what they were calling it in game, because you had your health and your stamina, or your health and your energy, and if you ran out of energy, your stamina started to drop, and you couldn't run, and that was really problematic in a lot of situations because those wolves are fast. So anyway, you'll be able to have something with you, and we'll see how effective that is. He also said that he did some work on wallet integration, so now both Ethereum and Gala Chain NFTs are registering within the game. He said, don't expect anything like the Dragon familiar for the play test, but they can see it now. So we're one step closer to them being ready to do their next playtest launch.
Yeah, so I guess would that mean that you don't necessarily you don't have to bridge?
Possibly, which would be beautiful. There was a long time when Common Ground World was doing that, when they had so many different NFTs in so many different places, whether like and they had already, for back when it was on Play Canvas, they were able to register stuff that was in your treasure chest as live for the game. You didn't even have to mint it, and they knew it was there. They were able to do that with the Godot version at first. But then as everything was migrating to Gala Chain, they turned all those old treasure chest items into an allowance, and then you needed to mint that allowance. So now allowances don't show up in game, but the minted tokens do. But like I said, you have the precedent before that they were able to read that information before. So maybe Miranda's is just going to be able to capitalize on that. And that would be convenient, because there's a lot of things in a lot of different places. And some people have a lot, like I've got a lot of exemplars, and migrating them all to Gala Chain is kind of a pricey endeavor. Hopefully they don't make us worry about that. And if they do, they do, and we'll figure it out. Champions Arena. We talked about it last week, that there was a video that might be alluding to some kind of like a gacha box sale, and that's exactly what it was. The sale went live last Thursday. They were calling them Mystic boxes, and they're sold out now. Apparently there was enough good stuff in there that the people that are enjoying that game went for it, and hopefully people were happy with what they got. There were a lot of high-end characters in there, and there was also the opportunity to get one of the estates out of that. One kind of a warning to the public: there were two things that came out of that. The Champions Gem Cache and the Generals Gem Cache. Now, they were rendered as NFTs that came to your Gala Chain wallet, but they're just like a placeholder. And the way that they described it was similar to when node owners had received a Townstar node drop. And it was very specific. It said, this is not a transferable node license. This is just for the person who received this NFT in their treasure chest. So those should not be bought or sold, because the gems that are associated with them will not transfer. The person who received that is the one that's going to be receiving the item. So that's something that Rostikip was already able to take care of on NFT Harbor. He blocked the two of them so that you can't do person-to-person transactions with them. But in case someone happens to like try to mint that to Ethereum and sell it to you, don't buy it. You're not going to get anything for it. Yeah, so just a warning to the general public about that.
We did it at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. I was just talking about that. We're really thankful. That was a quick response time on that too. We saw a couple of them that went up, and then someone flagged it. You know, someone came into, it was in Gala Gold where I saw the conversation. Someone got his attention real fast, and he was able to just block the sales. So you
Good.
can't even do it on NFT Harbor, but he's a lot more attentive to his interaction
Maybe.
with the Gala ecosystem than someone like OpenSea would be.
Yeah.
So just in case someone does mint it or bridge it out of Gala chain, I don't even know if they can actually. Maybe they can. It might be a moot point right now. Nice. That's great. That's great that you can just like put the kibosh on anything that might be problematic. That's good news. There was a 24-hour break in the Eternal Paradox seasons. So like those of us who had been slogging it out for 49 days of the first one, we got a day off.
Nice.
And then that whole wheel started spinning again. So we're deep into week 1 on season 2 now. Lots of updates. And not that they didn't have to like rework anything. It wasn't that at all. It seemed like this was a planned, like get your feet wet in the first season, and then we got some more stuff for you to like take into account. They added a captain's gear thing, which gives you all sorts of speed ups and buffs and reduced timers and things like that. So it's absolutely essential to good gameplay. And if you ignore that, you do it to your own detriment. Another thing that they did, they expanded the different ways that you can earn daily prize points, and so it becomes a little bit easier for people to compete for those places and earning e-time every day. And they also did something with the way that lands give out their prize points. They wanted to make it a little bit more fair to people that couldn't be there right at the reset, whether it's because that was a time when they should be sleeping or maybe at work or something like that. So they created a 2 quota system that the first half of the land's DPPs can be harvested in the first 12 hours, but the other half don't unlock until after that 12-hour period ends. So someone that can stay up all day long, they might be able to farm out of both quotas, but and they're still capped on the maximum per land. But it gives people that can't be there right at reset another opportunity to get in and harvest some resources in order to get a chance for better e-time rewards.
And you have to have that, especially when you're looking at global time zones. I mean, if you're gonna, it doesn't make sense to have you're totally disadvantaging half the world essentially, or half the.
I thought this was a really good way.
Yeah,
it seems to be good. It still doesn't get. It doesn't quite solve the problem of the people with like fantastically powerful accounts being able to harvest up to 25% of a land's possible player DPPs, and they can do it in like 10 minutes. They can do it really fast. That's something that it's really up to the landholder to decide whether or not they want to do anything about it, and they have the option of booting anybody at any time. Then they kind of have to play policeman and watch their land to make sure whenever those guys show up, they're there to kick them off. We've had a kind of open discussion within our guild and within the alliance that we have with Square 12. As of right now, things within the guild and alliance, we're just kind of letting things slide and seeing how that goes. But it's something that we're going to constantly address, because the idea is largely to just be of benefit to as many people as possible. You have a whole guild, and if only 4 people are benefiting out of that whole guild from these lands, then it can get ugly. They create a lot of bad sentiment. So so we'll be addressing that throughout the season. Even with this new quota system, there's still opportunities for abuse, and we want to make the right decision about that. There's a paper that a lot of things did change, and I was able to put something together. I guess we'll probably be able to get that out soon. But it'll go in depth a bit more on some of these things that are happening. And I guess we'll leave Eternal Paradox at that for now. Episode 35 of Ahead of the Game. It was just Bitbender this time. He was at the on-site that they've been, apparently says they've been there for like 2 weeks now. I don't know if anyone's been tracking that too closely, but they're all together in person, just planning out 2024 and getting things ready, I guess. But he did his Ahead of the Game stream from that location. Started off talking about things from Gala Film and Gala Music. They had a production updates AMA, and so he drew everybody's attention to the link for that. You can actually go and listen to that. That link is on the Gala Film server. Music has a tipping feature now for artists. So if you want to, just like content creators on different platforms, you can tip Gala Music artists now if you want to. That he got moving on to the game updates. Then he was talking about the Walking Dead Empires. He said that there should be an update this week, and he made it sound like it was going to be the big one.
The big one. What does the big one mean?
The big one that resets everything.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about before. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, Dark Rift is right about there. So he might be able to. He was telling me last night that I think he's less than 2 million experience away from 100. Like it's a massive amount of work, but he's pretty close. But we'll wait and see. They haven't given a date or a time or anything like that. Blake, what is going on, man?
I know he's dying laughing over there.
Oh, I didn't know I was muted. I accidentally muted my mic. Oh, I was just asking. I was like, what's going on with Dark Rift? I was like, is he going to get to level 100?
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I was on the right page.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were I said that and you immediately went into it. So I was like, oh, he's just responding to me.
I thought he was just watching some YouTube shorts. He's over there laughing.
Yeah.
No, I was. Sorry, gang.
So
Sorry,
yeah, he's there, and maybe he will get there. But even if they do set him back a bit, he's gonna still be equipped to get there relatively soon.
Yep.
He's eager to kind of set this chapter of his life behind him. It's been a lot of work to get there.
He's gonna burn himself out to where he doesn't want to play the game anymore, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. He is going to take a break, though. He has his eyes on some other things that he'd like to do for.
As he should.
Another neat little thing that they dropped, or that Bitbender dropped, Legends Reborn is scheduled to be launched in early March.
Okay.
So he started out just talking about how they got the art done. They were working on some of the art for a certain card crafting system or something like that. And then all of a sudden he just like, bam, should be launched in early March. Now, that's what he said. I'm not sure if they meant playtest, but he said launch. Like, so apparently they're working out tokenomics and everything. We'll have to wait and see. But that was the word as of last week's Ahead of the Game. He mentioned he read off a bunch of the announcements. He was blurring through the game segment. He kind of like got done with it. And he's like, there, we got the games done in 15 minutes. And like he was in a hurry to just get through those announcements because he wanted to answer questions. I think largely he's excited to talk about the things that are going on in Gala Chain. So he got to some of that, but then questions were coming in from all over the place, and it brought him back to the topic of games anyways. There was a point at which someone was asking him about the Common Ground World nodes and the light paper for that. And he was straightforward. He says he's pretty sure that he's the bottleneck on that he's been doing other things, and as a result, that hasn't been approved. or hadn't been as of the time that they were that he was doing that show. I think he pushed that through pretty quickly because they said something they referenced in the AMA the next morning, the town hall the next morning, that it seemed like that was illegal and it should be coming soon. I'm going to say it. Yeah. And then it also came up about the Echoes of Empire light paper that's not out, and he owned that one too. So I don't know. I mean, like it's a confession doesn't get the job done, but that's cool to see him.
Yeah, I mean,
stepping up and taking accountability for the part that he plays and making sure that information gets to us. And it seems like obviously with Echoes launched without a light paper, it makes for a curious situation. But
yeah. I mean, it's so annoying with that when they keep telling you it's coming. We're going to have it before the launch. You're going to get it. It'll be this week. No, it'll next week. Oh, the next week. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. It's annoying.
Well, we'll piece it together, I guess. You know, like
point in time.
Tim's just running circles. You're just like, what is it? You know, I mean, and to me, I mean, especially when you look at the earnings side of things, you know, it's perplexing to not have documentation on how that's going to work and be thrown into it. But, you know, I think maybe they were just so focused on making an awesome game, focused on that. So that's my glass half full look.
We were also told that there was going to be a ship and blueprint sale ahead of time. Maybe they didn't do that because they don't have the light paper. The NFTs that we did buy, we bought so far out ahead of the light paper that it wouldn't matter what the light paper says. We've already got them.
Yeah.
But for them to try to have a sale now without us knowing anything about how it works, there would have been probably a lot of negative sentiment over that.
There'll be negative sentiment when they bring it out anyway. There's always people that are going to hate on whatever they dish out. So.
That's fair.
That way with everything.
But at least we'll have the information to work with, right? You can make an educated decision at that point.
Hey,
well, yeah, I was going to say the rest of the
I got to roll. I got to head out. So you guys continue forward.
I did hear you had a meeting or something.
Yeah, I gotta leave a little earlier today though. So sorry, I got to roll early. But you guys, keep getting it. I'll chat with all you guys later.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Take it easy.
All right, thanks. So
I guess what else is
there was just a little bit left. He was answering questions, and then Dr. Wookie was responding in chat about some things, and all of a sudden he's just like, Dr. Wookie, you should get on here with me. And it became this
I want to share that actually because I was looking. I was like, wait, what?
It was this totally spontaneous co-creator moment where they just he just all of a sudden is live, and behind the scenes Paul just was able to tool it out that the two of them are there together, and Dr. Wookie essentially took over filtering the questions out of different social media sites and bringing them right to Jason so that he could concentrate on the answers and not have to sit there and sift himself. There have been some Twitter fights. You're right.
It's been interesting to say the least.
But yeah, so the two of them, they closed out the show. A lot of what they were focusing on was Gala Chain. So they were talking about what it's capable of, what it can do for the developers that are coming online, what it's going to be able to do for the people using it within the apps, all of that. One of the things that came out in that interview with what was the Block Tides with Myrtle Ann. She was very curious about everything that was going on, and in that particular interview, Jason mentioned that one of the major differences between what you can do with Gala Chain versus other chains is that when you set up your channel, and he said they have a special name for those channels that they haven't released yet, but when you set up your channel for your particular app or whatever you're going to deploy onto the Gala Chain, you are able to set your own gas fees. So now a single channel will be responsible for gas fees to the node network based on like level of usage. But we've heard over and over again that standard usage for a channel is not going to have any gas at all. No transaction fees at all. You as the creator of a channel can bump up whatever gas fees might be there, and you'd be able to then collect those.
I wonder if on the inverse side, you could also, because I know like you'll see certain projects, you know, that are really trying to drive engagement and stuff and want to minimize that, will set up like gas stations, you know, to cover the gas fees incurred by anyone using that. I wonder if that's going to be something they can implement as well. Say someone wants to build something that's totally free. They're like, you don't even have to pay for gas. Just come in and enjoy it. We'll pay the gas. That'd be interesting. I wonder if that's going to get worked in.
Yeah, that would be neat. He was referencing that in response to the question about why would people use Gala Chain versus another place. You know, there's Solana out there. Wow, I don't know why my mind's
Solana. I love Sol so much right now. Like because I've just been messing around with it a good amount. You know, just there's like been stuff with like the Jupiter Dex tool and their airdrop stuff they've been doing. I mean, it is. I think I had less than $2 of Sol in my wallet for the past like 3 weeks, and I've made numerous transactions and haven't had to put more Sol in to cover gas. I mean, it's just like, it's fast, it's quick, it's easy to use right now. I'd love to see Gala Chain get to that point. And I think within the gaming sphere specifically, I think there's a use case for it. It's just, I can't wait to hear back from some of these people that actually know what they're looking for now that they can get in there, get their hands dirty, you know, be like, okay, what's like, can I do everything I wanted to do? And if I can, awesome, let's start doing it. So I'm excited for that.
To be fair to Gala Chain, like I've been using Gala Chain a lot, and it's fast, it's quick, and I haven't paid anything. You know,
good.
Like,
okay, well, yeah, awesome.
I haven't bridged anything either, though. I do know that the bridging fees are still.
Bridging's the one, and maybe that's what I guess that's actually what I was just thinking about was Solana compared to the bridging, not actually necessarily Gala Chain usage. The bridging thing's been an interesting one for the past.
The node situation for new channels is another kind of novel approach that he was saying that many developers, when they're trying to bring their project to a blockchain, in order to have it funded, a lot of times they have to either they go with some sort of VC, or the blockchain themselves will sometimes
sponsor it or
give them a loan or something like that. And that many times doesn't work out well. With the way that they run their node offerings, the public that would be interested in what they're building has the opportunity, almost like a Kickstarter, I guess. You know, if you're buying a node, you're buying into the idea, right? And then the node is there to host the content for that particular application and receive some sort of token generation in response. And so it's not that nodes haven't been done anywhere else, but this particular way where anyone is able to set up a node structure within the wider layer one of Gala Chain, it's something that has potential, and it's a great startup mechanism for people that want to get their idea off the ground. We'll see if it works. They are really excited about the people that they've been talking to. They just haven't told us who they are yet. They still got
I'm excited
things in the way. So we'll be talking about that over the weeks to come, I'm sure. So with Nate gone, I guess we
one little comment from HB. I guess I want to hear you talk about it too, but my interpretation from that was previously I thought the Miranda's team had said, you know, since they didn't have access to the totality of Gala Chain yet, they weren't sure if everything they were wanting or planned to do would be able to work within the Gala chain model, or I wonder if he's referring to the part of where they're going to accept ETH NFTs as well.
Yeah, I can dig more into exactly what their plans are. Just straight up ask Jason Hughes what he thinks. But for whatever reason, he was making sure that they would be able to functionally, that the game would be able to functionally recognize Ethereum-based NFTs, and maybe it's just for the purposes of bridging. That
Could be
because we saw that with Townstar. They had so many different types of contracts that it took them a while to wade through all their different NFTs to get them bridged over.
or replaced on with
yeah,
Gala chain
and we even saw that with
yeah.
the shipwreck crate sale. That like there was coding in some of those contracts that was interfering with them being able to put those NFTs in the crates.
Yep.
And so maybe the game itself will entirely be Gala chain, but they need this in order to make sure that all of the bridging works out
Assets
the right way. So
appropriate.
yeah, I can dig into that and we'll get an answer back to you next week.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good stopping point.
Yeah, we're right at the 45-minute mark. We're sweet. Thanks everybody. We
appreciate it,
hope
and
to see you out there. And
check out
Tim
Tim's
is still
stream.
live. He if you
go
wanna,
watch Tim.
if you want to get a little bit of a primer on how to deal with deep space and Echoes of Empire, go ahead and check out his live stream. He's on Twitch, YouTube.
I just posted his YouTube link to it.
Yeah, that's
here in
great.
our comments here, so
So,
everyone
yeah,
go watch him. Go make fun of him.
Let's all rush him and give him some more views.
Spam him. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, yeah, let's hack his Empire. It's exciting. It's going to be a busy week. So we'll be pushing some information out and see you guys next week.
Thanks so much, guys.
See everyone.